Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Jivan Gaura Hari Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khanda, 21st chapter, 15 to 19 verses, Prabhuji. Over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So I offer my respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who have gathered here to hear about the glorious pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and his associates, especially Chaitanya Bhagavata, Madhya Khanda, chapter 21, the Lord's chastisement of Devananda Pandit, verse 15.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I cannot see the PPT properly because it looks like it's zoomed a lot. For me, at least. Can anybody else also confirm?
It's the same, Prabhuji. You can just zoom in. Means, yeah, it was quite to zoom out.
Can you see it now?
Now also it's like that, Prabhuji. Maybe can you close the PPT once and reopen? Yeah, now we can see it nicely. Yeah.
This fine?
Yeah, but you put the slideshow, Prabhu. Oh, when you put the slideshow, it's happening like that. Just do without the slideshow, Prabhu. Maybe it will work. Yeah,
Oh,
now
it's
it's
fine.
good, Prabhuji. Now we can see nicely.
Okay. Sabe Purushartha Bhakti Bhagavate Hoy Prema Rupa Bhagavata Chari Bede Koi. The Srimad Bhagavatam, a devotional service, is described as the ultimate goal of life. The four Vedas declare that Srimad Bhagavatam is the manifestation of ecstatic love. So in this verse, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam is explained, and how Srimad Bhagavatam is the manifestation of ecstatic love. The movement of Lord Chaitanya is based on bhakti, especially the spontaneous love for Krishna. And that's why the followers of Lord Chaitanya, especially Rupa Sanatan Goswami, they wrote many scriptures, and more or less it was revolving around Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll go with the next verse. Chari Beda Dadi Bhagavata Navanita Matilena Shuke Kailena Parikshita. The four Vedas are like yogurt, and Srimad Bhagavatam is like butter. Sukadeva Goswami churned, and Parikshit Maharaj released the result. So to both for the speaker and also for the audience, they both have to be qualified. So here we know that Sukadeva Goswami is a realized soul, and Parikshit Maharaj, he was a devotee by birth. He was searching after Krishna. So when he got the chance to hear about Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of the curse, and he started to absorb himself in hearing and relishing Srimad Bhagavatam. Mora priya shuka se jane na Bhagavata Bhagavate kohe mora tattva abhimata. My dear Sukadev knows the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes the signs of my glories and position. So here, the confidentiality of Srimad Bhagavatam is explained. Only devotees can understand the intricacy of devotional service, and that's why only the devotees can relish the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why the Mahajans, the pure devotees, they engage totally in absorption of Krishna Katha. Mui mora dasha ara grantha bhagavate jar beda achetar nasha bala mate. Anyone who discriminates between me, my servant, and the book, he is to be destroyed. So here, the stage of Kanishta is generally a the bhakti starts from Kanishta stage, but one should not remain in the Kanishta stage, because Kanishta means he doesn't give due respect to the devotees, and if he continues to remain in the Kanishta stage, then it is sure that actually there are chances that he may commit aparat, and in that way he may displease the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that also applies to book Bhagavata. Book Bhagavata and the person Bhagavata, they are in one way, one sense, non-different from Krishna. So like Srimad Bhagavatam, Tulasi, Ganga, devotees, they can't be separated from Krishna. This is the clear instruction given. Bhagavata Tattva Prabhu Kohe Krodha Beshe Shuniya Vaishnava Gana Mahanande Bashe. In anger, the Lord narrated the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Vaishnavas floated in an ocean of bliss as they listened. So when Bhagavatam was spoken by Lord Chaitanya, the followers of Lord Chaitanya, they relished Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam, it is full of devotional service. So in this chapter, it is mentioned as Lord's chastisement. So I would like to show some pastime places of Devananda Pandit, and also about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially to take the subject matter of chastisement, which is actually real mercy from the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. Vinita Mataji, you can just say whether if I put it in the full mode screen, can you see this?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see it.
Okay. So this is actually the exact place where Lord Chaitanya chastised Devananda Pandit. So it's in Navadvip, in the Dham Koladvip. And we all know that this pastime happened here. So when Srivas Pandit happened to pass by this place, when he heard about the slokas being recited, he entered into this arena. At the time, Devananda Pandit, he was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. And we all know that pure devotees, just any trigger that can make them remember Krishna, they would faint and become unconscious. Because there are 9 angas of devotional service, but the main is actually remembrance. That's why actually always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna is being emphasized. The highest form of chanting is remembering the Supreme Lord. The highest form of kirtan is remembrance. Why do devotees chant? Because we have to remember Krishna. So it was an opportunity for Srivas Pandit to hear about the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, and immediately he fainted. But the disciples of Devananda Pandit, they couldn't realize the exalted position of Narada Pandit, and in that way, they committed a great aparat of throwing Srivas Pandit out of this ashram. And when Srivas Pandit came out of his senses, then he realized he was feeling embarrassed. But Lord Chaitanya took it as a great offense. Srivas Thakur is none other than Narada Muni. So, the purpose of Bhagavat is lost here. Because here, actually, in the verse which we studied earlier, it is clearly mentioned that if a person discriminates between myself, servant, and the book, he is certainly to be ruined. So, actually, Lord Chaitanya was displeased. So, actually, he couldn't get the taste of reciting Bhagavatam. The purpose of Bhagavatam is to relish it. And that's why only Paramahamsas they could relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Certainly, a person who is in the sadhana stage, anyhow, he has to go on continually hear Srimad Bhagavatam so that actually the absorption becomes a constant flow in due course of time by the mercy of Srimad Bhagavatam. But here, actually, the goal of reading Bhagavatam was lost because actually neither the disciples were able to uh, realize the exalted position of Srivas Thakur nor the spiritual master Devananda Pandit. He didn't forbid when his disciples threw Srivas Thakur out of the ashram. So in that way, actually, this was a grievous offense committed, and Lord Chaitanya was greatly displeased. He told that even if you are a professional reciter, you can attract more people. You will not hear taste in reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, and definitely a person who doesn't have taste in reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, then what kind of profound effect it can have it on the audience. So definitely, actually, whoever speaks, that's why it was mentioned earlier. Sukadeva Goswami, he was churning on Parikshit Maharaj, he relished it. So it was a perfect combination. So this is in Koladip. So actually, this is the personal worshipable deity, which was established by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur at Devananda Pandit Ashram. You could find in the extreme left the bear, the kola, the boar incarnation, and also Lord Jagannath. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur happened to pass by this place, actually he told that this was the exact place where Lord Chaitanya forgave Devananda Pandit, and immediately there was a mud constructed. He could visualize that. And here is the place where actually we can offer our prayers, and also we can forgive those persons who have offended. It's not that actually we should have any grudge on others. It should be always seen as a special mercy coming from the Supreme Lord. So if the tendency, attitude is to forgive others, then actually his journey going back home, back to Godhead will be a smooth one, because Vaishnava Aparad is so serious and grievous. Even if the Vaishnavas, they forgive the persons from whom they got offended, the dust from their lotus feet doesn't forgive them so easily. So that's why actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to emphasize that actually one should be very cautious while dealing with the Vaishnavas, especially with exalted Vaishnavas, or else there are chances that one may burn his finger. And it's certainly, spiritual life is like walking on the razor's edge. So we all know that how Devananda Pandit, when he took the service of crowd control management, when Vakreshwara Pandit was dancing, then actually Mahaprabhu took that opportunity of serving the devotee as a pretext to forgive Devananda Pandit. So all this happened here, and our movement is based on Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhakti cult. Why Srimad Bhagavatam? Because Srimad Bhagavatam gives details about Krishna, the process and means to attain him, and also the example of devotees who practiced Bhagavatam. So it is nicely, wonderfully presented. So the devotees can take advantage of Srimad Bhagavatam, because in Kali Yuga it is also easy for people to take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in that way Srimad Bhagavatam is exclusively manifested to bring about the sweetness of Krishna. That's the whole essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. The sweetness of Krishna, one can relish in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is an exclusive literature meant for glorifying Supreme Lord Krishna. And in first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we all know that the story of Narada is illustrated. And he is a Nitya Siddha, but actually in Srimad Bhagavatam, he is setting an example from the lowest stage, how he is practicing sadhana bhakti and how ultimately he is attaining Krishna Prem. So, how did he get taste? Because of the remnants of food he took from Bhakti Vedantas, he got the faith, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we all know that he got the faith, then associated with the devotees, then Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhava, Prema, all the 9 stages from faith to Prema, he attained that. So this is clearly illustrated by Narada Muni. Narada Muni is a Nitya Siddha, but in this first canto, it's the presentation is how one can progress from the initial stage of getting the faith to attain prema. And in the initial stage, one should be given the opportunity to hear holy name. Then actually he gets some sukriti, then he may associate with the devotees, then he may associate and hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. It is like a trick. If you directly ask a person, newcomer, come to Bhagavad Gita class, Bhagavatam class, how can they come? Some 1 in 100 may come and sit. But if we call them to a chanting session or to a kirtan mela, give them an opportunity to hear about the holy name, then the holy name will act. Then he gets some shraddha, faith. Even without his knowing, he is being pulled to the sadhu sangha. Then he can associate nicely. So this is wonderfully explained in first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So similarly, like Parikshit Maharaj, he was a devotee by birth. On the pretext when he was cursed, he didn't mind. He didn't bother to take food, water for 7 days. It was just only an arrangement. He was searching for Krishna. The 7 days curse was only a pretext for him to get completely absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam. And it also depicts the determination of Parikshit Maharaj to hear Srimad Bhagavatam with a rapt attention. So this is fine, wonderfully depicted in first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam means actually the example of great devotees. That's why here it's mentioned that don't discriminate between myself, servant, and book. So Srimad Bhagavatam explains that. And in second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahma, who is the creator of the universe, is a great devotee. He is the Mahajan and also the head of our Sampradaya. So during the process of creation, so he prayed, he got darshan of the Lord, and ultimately he got the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam through the Chatusloki. Then he explained it to Narada to Vyasa to Sukadev, from Sukadev to Parikshit Maharaj. So the creator, he is attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of Chatusloki was conveyed to Brahma. So fortunate. So it is also explained. So the greatest person in the universe, the secondary creator, Brahma, so he is attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is also wonderfully depicted. And in the third canto, we all know that Devahuti, she started to ask question from her son, who is none other than the Supreme Lord, Kapila. And in that way, she was churning, and actually lot of discussion happened between Kapila and Devahuti. She's a great devotee. She got Supreme Lord as her son. And in that way, the process of bhakti was nicely analyzed and given. So, how actually the devotees are inquisitive. She got Supreme Personality as her own son. So, in that way, actually, none of the women in this world should feel pride that of getting material opulences is the only goal of life. She has got Supreme Lord as her son, and she started to inquire things about the Supreme Lord, and in that way, Bhagavatam was explained. Mataji's. So it is also wonderfully explained. So actually, whether we read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, if these three things are known, the absorption will be more and more. One is we have to understand the essence. The second one is the concept. The third one is the pattern or in the way in which it is presented. If these three things are known, then actually we can appreciate and we can get absorb more and more. Then actually in the fourth canto, we all know that how the story of Dhruva Maharaj. So we all know that Dhruva Maharaj in the initial stage, he was not practicing pure bhakti. He was a mixed bhakta only. But he got the mercy of Narada. And by following the instruction of the spiritual master, he realized the Supreme Lord. And it also showed the great determination in executing devotional service in the small age. So determination is very important, and to follow the instruction of the spiritual master is also important. And he became the king of the unrivaled planet, Dhruvaloka. You can say it's the topmost planet, the material universe, but still he was a devotee of the Supreme Lord. So one should not get puffed up of getting insignificant things and forgetting Krishna. So that is also wonderfully explained in fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we all know that how Bharata Maharaj, he got into the body of a deer, but ultimately attained the stage of prema. And before that, he also happened to get finally into the body of Jadabharat. And he gave mercy to King Rahuguna. Rahuguna was not qualified because he was an offender. Still, Jadabharat, he gave mercy to King Rahuguna. So in that way, it is also mentioned how mercy is costless. So whomever the pure devotee glances, they can get the mercy. Bhakti is unconditional. Bhakti is costless. So that is also wonderfully explained. So how one should be careful. But still, actually, nothing is lost in spiritual life. There was a small, we can say, a temporary setback in the life of Bharata Maharaj, but still he attained the perfection. So he was ruling the great planet, Earth, Bharata Varsha. But ultimately, it has to be renounced at the right age. And he also took up to devotional service. Because actually in Srimad Bhagavatam, the great king personalities, it's mentioned that they, at one point of time, they feel that actually this worldly opulence is insignificant and it cannot quench one's heart and mind, and only the devotional service. So they are able to give up the worldly opulence. So one should again not get puffed up with the worldly opulence. We have come to this world, we are going to live. So worldly opulence means it has to be renounced at one point of time. So the real treasure which one has to search is devotional service. And actually you can find in sixth canto, it's mentioned about Chitraketu, how one should not, he was a great king, how one should not offend a devotee. So Chitraketu, how Mother Parvati cursed Chitraketu. She is a great Vaishnavi. Somehow or other, she got displeased. So it's a clear lesson that actually you cannot displace the devotees. You cannot displace the spiritual master. And that should be universal love. Unless we develop respect, humility towards all living entities, then only actually this respect can be maintained with the Vaishnavas. And there will be a safeguard, protective measure in not committing the offenses. And Ajamil, his episode is also mentioned. He is from a sinful background, but still he attained the highest stage of bhakti. So that is also possible. So one cannot question that, see, all these personalities are great king, stalwart devotees. What if a person from the sinful background? Yes, the story of Ajamil is given, wonderfully presented, the 6th canto. Everyone can attain devotional service, irrespective of whatever circumstances one is put in. The Ajamil story clearly illustrates that even if a person chants the holy name unconsciously, the effect is there. So if a person puts conscious effort and endeavor, what to speak? So we should never be carried away. Yeah, Krishna is merciful. In the episode of Putana, yeah, Krishna awarded Putana Vatsalya Bhakti, but she was only a mere spectator. She couldn't do personal service to Krishna. She could assist only Mother Yashoda or the elderly gopis. So some sort of, though she attained the highest stage, there was some, because though it was not in a favorable mood, Krishna bestowed mercy, but we should put our conscious effort to attain the highest stage. Then we all know that how in 7th canto the story of Prahlad Maharaj is illustrated. So again the question may come, can devotional service be practiced? Because Ajamil from sinful background, if a person is born in demoniac species. Yeah, Prahlad Maharaj, born from Hiranyakashipu, he was a great devotee, the son of Advaita Acharya. 3 sons were favorable to devotional service, 3 were unfavorable. So we can, it's not a thumb rule. A devotee like Prahlad can also get birth from Hiranyakasipu, and from Prahlad also, persons like Hiranyakashipu, they can also get born. There is no guarantee, even if the parents are Krishna conscious, the children are 100%, they will practice Krishna consciousness. But still, devotional service can be practiced at any circumstances, even though if one is from the sinful background, like in the case of Ajamil, or even if born in the a demoniac family, they can practice nice devotional service, and he is famous for remembrance. One devotee famous for one anga of devotional service, but they practiced other anga also. Maybe they may be prominent. Prahlad Maharaj is prominent for Smaranam. It doesn't mean that actually he didn't practice other angas of devotional service. He practiced. And in the 8th canto, we all know that the episode of Bali Maharaj. So he was also from the demoniac family. Still, he was a great devotee. He was also a great Mahajan. So it is also clearly mentioned that how the sole proprietor is only the Supreme Lord. In the Trivikarma form, he measured the whole world. And he is also famous for Atma Nivedan, Bali Maharaj. He surrendered body, mind, and soul. He was very powerful. At last, he surrendered. So it also gives a lesson for those who are born in the demoniac family also. Some person who have become great exalted devotees. So that inspiration Krishna is giving through Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, because Krishna gives mercy to all living entities. He doesn't discriminate. And we all know that in the 11th canto, Uddhava was actually how he felt the mood of separation when he met gopis, and about the glorious position of the gopis, it is also mentioned. So how they are always in constant hankering, separation mood to associate with the Krishna. So all these things are wonderfully explained here. So Srimad Bhagavatam, if we take from first canto till the 12th canto, there are perfect examples of exalted devotees practicing devotional service. Because in Bhagavad Gita, we all know that actually devotional service is the ultimate. One should surrender. But in Bhagavatam, those who have surrendered, how they led their life, how they practiced devotional service in spite of their opulent position and in spite of their embarrassing situation. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he was tortured from various ways, but still he remembered Krishna. So actually, devotional service is ahaitukki. It cannot be stopped by any means. So that clearly mentioned in Bhagavata. So see, the purpose of this is that Devananda Pandit, he was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. And here actually from first canto to 12th canto, these examples of perfect devotees, exalted devotees are given, and clearly it is mentioned that the Supreme Lord is inseparable from these exalted devotees, but he didn't recognize the exalted position of Srivas Pandit, and in that way he committed a great aparat. See, the purpose of Bhagavatam is lost in the episode of Devananda Pandit. So that's why actually the essence, the purport, these are all very, very important. So here actually Lord Chaitanya chastised Devananda Pandit. So just a thought, like in Krishna Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Leela, and in the transcendental pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, many chastisement happen. See, if we read Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Bhagavatam, we should not think that actually Devananda Pandit was chastised. We have to learn lessons, how we are going to apply in our life. So we all know that actually, due to the envious nature, Krishna chastised Kaliya. And in that way, actually, he came to his senses. So the envy that was rooted out. And we all know that Lord Chaitanya chastised Jagadananda Pandit. Because Jagadananda Pandit, he was giving instructions to Sanatan Goswami. And Sanatan Goswami, Lord Chaitanya mentioned that you are actually spiritual master of the whole world. How can Jagadananda Pandit, who is none other than Satyabhama, can instruct you? But there was a thick love and relationship. That's why, because Satyabhama, she is not so submissive like Rukmani. So when Jagadananda Pandit brought the sandalwood oil, perfumes, cosmetic, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused and also refused to take opulent food. So Jagadananda Pandit immediately, actually, he broke the pot, displayed his anger. So in that way, actually, we can say the relationship is thick. So in that way, they love each other. So we can say when the relationship is thick, love each other, then it is easy to rectify others, to teach others. Actually, rectification, chastisement is the sole purpose is to make advance one in Krishna consciousness. It's actually an art of teaching devotional service. So similarly, it also happened with Shivananda Sen. Actually, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda was very satisfied with the service Shivananda Sen performed. Every year taking 200 devotees from Bengal to Jagannath Puri. He sponsored for the complete yatra. But on the pretext of chastisement, he kept his lotus feet on the chest of Sivananda Sen. And he also cursed that all your sons would die. Sivananda Sen's wife got fear, but nothing happened. But it was actually in the pretext of chastisement, it was only mercy. So the relationship is thick. You are taking care of my devotees nicely. So only devotees can relish. So on the pretext of chastisement, punishment, Lord Nityananda placed his lotus feet on the chest of Sivananda. So even Brahma and Shiva, they are hankering for the dust from the lotus feet of Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is voluntarily keeping his lotus feet on the chest of Shivananda Sen. Only devotees can understand all these pastimes. Externally, if we see, then actually one will get bewildered. Very, very important key aspect to understand all this intricacy dealings. It's actually a special mercy from the spiritual perspective. Chastisement and punishment, they are all one and the same. But we can say chastisement makes rectification and advancement in a speedy way. And we all know that actually Lord Chaitanya, when he chastised his followers, Advaita Acharya would get upset. He was the one who called Lord Chaitanya, but he used to say that you are favoring other person because you are chastising him means actually you are accepting him as your servant, but you are always giving me respect. So he actually devised a way by speaking Mayavad philosophy, Yoga Sutra, and in that way actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bet him in a stick, and in that way actually Advaita Acharya started to dance in ecstasy, in jubilation. Now you have accepted me as your servant. Then that's why actually you bet me. Then Lord Chaitanya told to Advaita Acharya, no one can argue with a devotee to defeat him. So such is the mood. Such is the mood. We should know that. So and Praksananda Saraswati in Varanasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a humble position told voluntarily to Praksananda Saraswati, my spiritual master told me that I am a fool. That's why I am chanting and dancing. I can't understand Vedanta Sutra. In that way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also stressing that one needs to be chastised by the spiritual master. When the spiritual master says actually rascal, fool, stupid, it means actually blessing, because actually sometimes actually some person says that Srila Prabhupada, why sometimes he is using this word as a rascal, stupid, fool. Actually, it's the duty of the spiritual master to chastise the conditioned souls in Kali Yuga. Then only actually transformation takes place. If they are not accepting it in the proper mode, then who will deliver them? So Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he was a constant servant accompanying Lord Chaitanya, seeing how all the wild animals were chanting in ecstasy. And when he went to Vrindavan, actually he was fooled by the words of the ordinary person when people said that in the night actually Krishna is dancing in Kalia, in the river Yamuna, and he asked even permission from Lord Chaitanya to go and then see that. Lord Chaitanya slapped him mildly and said that you are just fooled by the words of the person. And the other person, they came and told that actually Krishna is yourself. Krishna has come here to Vrindavan in your form. But the person who was accompanying Lord Chaitanya, he was bewildered. So the chastisement was also there. It doesn't mean that actually if a person is accompanying the Supreme Lord or the spiritual master, he is always safe. There are many chastisement which has happened to the disciples, and it's coming from the parampara. It's coming from Lord Chaitanya. So that also happened. And also, even Lord Nityananda and Mahaprabhu's associates, they were chastised. When Nityananda Prabhu broke the Danda, Sannyasa rod, and threw it in the Dandabanga river. But Nityananda Prabhu told that actually in the rod of the sannyasa, all the 33 crore demigod reside. You are the Supreme Lord. Why you have to carry the 33 crore demigod? And even a person in the renounced order in the Paramahamsa stage, no need to carry sannyasa rod. Why you need to carry? So this was his understanding, highest Siddhanta. But on the pretext, Lord Chaitanya chastised Nityananda Prabhu and his associates. Don't follow me. I will go forward. Then they were all coming behind. So chastisement is the first expansion of the Supreme Lord, Balaram, none other than Lord Nityananda. He is also getting chastised. So it's all actually the pastimes. So Bali Maharaj, In order to show the greatness of Bali Maharaj, how he is a surrendered soul, he was chastised. Lord Chaitanya chastised many of his followers, and they would feel pride whenever they got chastised. Pride in the sense that, oh, Mahaprabhu has accepted me as the servant. Radharani chastised Uddhava. Actually, he is one of the Haridas Varya, like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Uddhava, Giri Govardhan. But when he came as a messenger, he was chastised by none other than Radharani. You are an unreliable servant because your master Krishna is unreliable. He was chastised. But we all know that how Uddhava is a great devotee. Got chastised. And also our parampara, Brahma, Madhya, Gaudiya, Sampradaya. Can see that how Vyasa wrote many scriptures. In that actually he was condemning only Dharma, Artha, Karma, Moksha. He didn't write an exclusive scripture about the sweetness of Krishna. So Narada condemned and chastised Vedavyas. Then Bhagavatam was brought by his mercy. So actually chastisement even for the literary incarnation, Vedavyas, he also got chastised from Narada, but he accepted it gladly in the right spirit, and he acknowledged his mistake that he has deluded the readers of not knowing the essence of the scriptures. So then actually we all know that Bhagavatam came into picture. And during Kurukshetra, when Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, they also went to Kurukshetra. Devaki, Vasudev, they also came to Kurukshetra. At that time, see, chastisement is one thing. Taking a little digging at other person, that also happens. So when Mother Devaki, when she was speaking to Mother Yashoda, she was digging her, I thank you for raising my son. I thank you for raising my son. But actually, when this statement was spoken by Mother Devaki, Krishna saw Mother Yashoda and Mother Yashoda saw Krishna. Both were absorbed. So the statement of Mother Devaki didn't enter into their ears. So that's the point here. When we are completely absorbed in Krishna, whether there is a little dig, we can't hear or we can't even perceive it. That's why Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Instruction, the ultimate thing, one has to chant 24 hours and then absorb in Krishna's pastime, follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas and be complete absorbed in remembering Krishna. So actually, if a person insults us or takes a little dig, even if it is a close person, if he got hurt, it means that actually our absorption is not intense. Actually, it should be taken as a test whether we are getting absorbed in Krishna or not, like a weekly test, a monthly test, a quarterly test, because ultimate test is to attain pure love for Krishna. So these are all the way. See, we are living in the association of devotees. A person may get chastised from the spiritual master, or he may be criticized or insulted from the fellow devotees, Vaishnavas or Vaishnavis, or he may be also getting little dig. Whether it is hurting us, our emotion gets hurted, then it's actually a time where we have to introspect ourselves. So the right attitude is, we should think that it is coming directly from Krishna. And certainly only a matured person can accept it, whether it is right or wrong. If a person accepts that, oh, it is coming from Krishna, then actually it means that he is matured. So the instruction is clearly given by our bona fide acharyas, the Goswamis, that one should be completely absorbed. Absorption means remembrance. And the best form of Kirtan chanting is remembering the Supreme Lord. So somehow or other, we should constantly get ourselves absorbed. Naturally, it's only a process. It's a gradual process only. Nothing to get discouraged. But when we develop the right attitude, then actually we see it only as an impetus, or as a pushing ladder to go towards Krishna. And we don't have grudge on others. Rather, we see only the mercy of Krishna, or the invisible hands of Krishna. And we all know that how friendly talks, it didn't help. And when Krishna accepted the role of the spiritual master, and when Arjuna surrendered, he used the word, you are talking like a learned person. In actuality, you are like a fool. How have these impurities come into your mind? Kashmalam. All this chastisement is required. Arjuna is a Nitya Siddha, but still actually chastisement is required. Without chastisement, actually one cannot progress in spiritual life. If actually one thinks actually I need to progress, then it means that actually he needs to be chastised. Even in the episode of the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, one disciple asked Prabhupada, were you chastised by your guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Prabhupada said, yes, once when my guru was giving class, and I, along with my older brother attending, he was talking with me. I just leaned back. Then immediately my spiritual master chastised me, but he chastised my older brother in a more way. Actually, this externally it may appear harshness or chastisement, but that's required. And devotees take it in the right spirit. It's actually an acknowledgement, a token. You have come into the orbit. Even in the episode of Rasikananda and Shyamananda Prabhu, somehow or other, Rasikananda Prabhu turned his face away. Shyamananda Pandit immediately actually kicked him. So they take it in the right spirit. There are many instances like Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. So when he was bringing orange juice, Prabhupada told that I don't like it, get out, like that. But still, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, in a very humble way, he approached, take this Guru Maharaj, take this Guru Maharaj, take this Guru Maharaj. He was pleading, pleading, pleading. At last, he won the heart of Prabhupada, and he gave the juice. And then Prabhupada gladly accepted it. I think in Los Angeles, there was one personal assistant of Prabhupada, Kartikeya. He made a wheat halwa and then brought it before Prabhupada. Prabhupada told him, is this wheat halwa? You don't know how to make it? And you are bringing to me? Get out, get lost. Then he was, immediately he went before the picture of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and prayed, I brought this halwa to your dear disciple to please him. Somehow or other, convince him to accept. Then immediately the sound came, okay, you bring that halwa. Then actually he accepted that. So there are many instances in which the disciples are chastised. And one time, Prabhupada also chastised his dear disciple, Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Then Tamal Krishna Maharaj told, then I want to go to China. Then Prabhupada told, Krishna has made you to say China. Then we all know that how Tamal Krishna Maharaj opened a nice center and revolutionary preaching in that area, China. Chastisement is always there. We should never think that there are exceptions in being chastised. So, one professor of Hinduism, when he came to meet Srila Prabhupada, I think in US there is a place called as Philadelphia. When Prabhupada was there, he came to meet Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada asked, "Who are you?" Then he told, "I am the professor of Hinduism." Then Prabhupada told to his disciple, Swarup Damodar Maharaj, he's a cheater. Then actually he got embarrassed, he got hurted, and it was also a talk among the devotees there. It even went on for some time. Then later, Ravindra Swarup Prabhuji mentioned that after few years, when he happened to meet that professor, he confessed that I am really a cheater. I was thinking that I am teaching Hinduism, but later only I came to know who is Krishna and also my relationship with Krishna. So in that way, I am a cheater only. So this chastisement shouldn't be taken apparently. It's only the mercy of the spiritual master. That's why Srila Prabhupada, whenever he was in Mayapur, he used to see, because generally the devotees, they would be very cautious in cleaning the floor. Then Prabhupada would see that. Then there would be that cobweb. Then he would chastise. Then when he was in Vrindavan, the room was pakka clean. Then he opened the window and he put his finger, some dust. Then he chastised Yamuna Mataji. If electricity was, the fan switch was not off, then he chastised his disciple. If the bathroom is not clean, then he would chastise his disciple. Prabhupada used to say that if you think that you are not perfect, see, it's a golden word. Prabhupada has said, if you think that you are not perfect and you are always ready to be chastised, you are perfect. This should be the attitude of the disciple. Now in Kali Yuga, if the spiritual master chastises his disciple, he goes to police station and complain against the spiritual master. So such is the precarious condition in this age of Kali. But Prabhupada has clearly mentioned, disciple means actually he should be humble and he should be always be ready to be chastised. And he should think that I am always imperfect. Then he is perfect. Perfect in the sense the attitude is good in pleasing the spiritual master. So like that we can see the many episodes how actually Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we all know that he was a ferocious preacher. However, came as an obstacle in expanding the movement of Lord Chaitanya. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, like a Simha Guru, he would chastise. But actually, he was only showing his compassion, not out of envy or any motivation. So it's actually art of teaching devotional service and making one to advance in devotional service. And if he's a papi or a atheist, actually he gets relieved from the sinful reactions of getting chastised when he gets scolded by the, or else he may even end up in hell. But just getting a scolding from the spiritual master, his fate gets turned. So actually, chastisement is always there. I also got chastised from my spiritual master, Jayapataka Maharaj, when I was serving him. When for washing the hand, I just brought a jar, but immediately the lid opened and suddenly the water gushed out of it. He yelled at me. So at that time only, it was like piercing the heart. That this chastisement doesn't come to all, but it is a special token of mercy. Sometimes actually the spiritual master, I think one spiritual master generally used to chastise if a person comes in jeans pant, and one Mataji came in jeans pant. And they all thought that Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj would chastise her. But he spoke gently and said that if I chastise that Prabhuji, I know that he would come regularly from tomorrow. But if I chastise this newcomer, she would not come. So the spiritual master knows they are perfect mind reader. But chastisement is always good. But don't think that actually I'm not in the orbit of serving the spiritual master, so I'm not getting chastised. Chastisement can come from any living entity. Even if you are not at fault, some accusation is thrown against. It should be taken that there should be some mustard seed of fault in me. So even to remove that, Krishna is using that person as an instrument. And sometimes one may immediately react or respond or argue that I am at no fault. But maybe if he advances in devotional service after 10 years, 20 years, or 5 years, then he may realize that I had a fault. Everyone thinks actually he is perfect. That's the problem. Everyone thinks that he is perfect. But actually, it's not the case. It's a ulta. So the spiritual master can also act through any living entity. Like we know that for Bilva Mangal Thakur, the spiritual master spoke through Chintamani. It's a chastisement only. You are getting so attracted to my body and flesh. If you are so much attracted to Hari, how nice it would be. So the form of chastisement, he got a transform. Everyone gets a chastisement. No, there is no exception. Even if he is a constant servant serving Mahaprabhu or the spiritual master, you may not know that. But within the four walls, there will be chastisement. I have seen several disciples being chastised by Guru Maharaj. He used to say that I need to rectify you. If even devotees speak they may speak apparently in a humble way, but he used to say that you use the word please like that. So in that way, actually, chastisement is always there. That's why, at least if one reads Prabhupada books, we can come chastisement in the form of words like stupid, rascal, fool. When these words we come across, we should think that actually it is spoken to me only. So in that way, we can get chastised and we can get refined. So, okay, now we came upon so many chastisement from the Supreme Lord to their close associates or whom they love, whether it is thick or thin, or from the spiritual master to their disciples or to the devotees in the orbit. What happens if a chastisement comes from stranger? One time, I remember when Radhanath Swami Maharaj was in Delhi airport, Minister Menaka Gandhi, she approached Radhanath Swami Maharaj and chastised Maharaj, saying that you are useless. You are all meant only for praying. You don't take care of environment. Maharaj took it in the right spirit. With that inspiration only, this Govardhan Eco Village, Vada, came into picture. But again, as a sadhu, he also gave instruction to Menaka Gandhi saying that if the internal ecology of heart is not cleansed, whatever may be the amount of cleaning we do in mountain, lakes, river, or ocean, and if there is lust, anger, greed in the heart, it is sure to get contaminated. So anyhow, taken in the right spirit. So that should be the mood, because see, only actually these type of maturity only comes when they see these things coming from Krishna. So that is very, very a key aspect in devotional service. Like when Prabhupada was performing yajna, he was restless because the disciples all kept fruits around the fire yajna. Then one child started to telling to Prabhupada, if you are restless, you only used to say, we have to chant. Then Prabhupada took up his bead bag and started to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That can come anyway. It's actually how we see and perceive Krishna. Prayers is also very, very crucial. When Vritasura surrounded Indra, actually Indra couldn't find a way to counteract Vritasura. Then Brahaspati taught him a prayer so that you can come out of this tragic situation. So similarly, when Indra got the news from Yaksha, who was a messenger from Kamsa, that you have attacked Govardhan, our arch enemy, then only actually Indra got stuck. Oh, I have sided. When the demons are praising me, I am also acting in a demoniac way. Then only he started to realize that he committed a great blunder, mistake, aparat. Krishna also forgave, but immediately what Krishna gave as prayer to Brahma, Brahma to the four Kumaras to the Angira Muni to Brahaspati again came into his picture. He just prayed, Krishna, the prayer is so potent. Krishna, you are performing pastimes like a human being in Golaka with your flute, with extraordinary pastime as the son of Nanda. And immediately, actually, he could get a divine vision of Krishna sitting in 1,000-petaled lotus, which actually even the yogis, if they meditate for thousands of years, they could not get this darshan. So prayers are very potent. One cannot get such darshan or go into such places, but prayers are so potent. So Lord Chaitanya has given this wonderful prayer of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We may not be qualified, but in the right attitude, if we chant the holy name, which is in the form of prayers, can take us back home, back to Godhead, where one can see Krishna face to face, as guaranteed by Srila Prabhupada. So such is actually the potent of Krishna Nama Sankirtana. We should have firm faith. Generally, people say that, oh, I have materialistic desire. Okay, you have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Oh, I may not go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. So what? You make effort that you want to go, then it's up to Krishna to decide. So the attitude is very, very important. The prayers, the holy name, they are so potent. The mercy can come because any little seva we render to Krishna, he magnifies it and actually he only paves the way. He is the swift deliverer of the surrendered soul. Sometimes even when we go for book distribution, one gets digged, criticized from the public. Okay, if it is from the public, it is acceptable. Sometimes even in the temple, if there are brahmacharis, they used to say, oh, you didn't get a job. That's why you joined as a full-time devotee. It may get hurt, but the digging is there. It can't be avoided, but it should be taken in the right spirit. At least if we get absorbed, actually, it will not affect us. If the emotions are hard, it means actually complaining attitude means one doesn't have happy. If the emotion is hard, gets hurted, then the absorption is less. So this is just only a tool to uh, see things. So even during Srila Prabhupada's time, a old person, he used to pay rupees 60 every month. Every month. At the time when Prabhupada used to give classes, he used to speak to others. Then Prabhupada chastised him in front of others. Do you mean that actually you give 60 rupees per month? You have purchased us? And whatever I am lecturing, others only should learn, and you have become perfect? He chastised in front of every person. So all these things we should take in the right spirit. Srila Prabhupada, he also used to have a little dig at his god brothers, especially when they were not cooperating him in spreading the mission of Lord Chaitanya. But at even the last stage, he asked for forgiveness. So these are all, actually, it's only a inspiration and instruction to us. Actually, when one gets chastised or criticized, it's not a matter of discouragement. He is in the right path only. It means if only he doesn't get, means actually there is some problem. If he's getting, means okay, it's all only rectification. A person gets diseased, naturally medicine injection is required. So these things should be considered as a part of getting matured in spiritual life. That's why actually we should never think that, oh, the chastisement is for Devananda Pandit. No, the chastisement is for us. only if we see from our perspective, we may get matured. So we should not think that, oh, he was a Mayavadi. All impersonal aspect is already in our heart and mind. That's why we become indifferent in chanting the holy name or in dealing with the devotees or in rendering any types of seva. Unless the attitude we go in ourselves and have the introspective mode, then it's very difficult to change ourselves. And we may continue to think that I am doing nice devotional service, which in fact, actually, we are not perfect. We should be always be ready to be chastised in a loving way. So Mahaprabhu, he was very merciful. So whoever he met, he gave love for Krishna. That was during his time. But here actually he has built up a nice society through Srila Prabhupada where we can take nice association. So we should take that this is also part of Mahaprabhu's Nama Sankirtan Leela. And if we take this chastisement in the right spirit, certainly this Vaishnava etiquette of being humble and putting ourselves in a menial position will certainly please Mahaprabhu, the Acharya Parampara. Definitely Krishna willing, we will be always in the eternal company of Mahaprabhu and associates and Krishna and his associates, and will be assisting our Guru eternally. Okay, so with this, I am ending this session. Any question, comments, realization, you are free to ask. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. What a beautiful class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. After a long time hearing Chaitanya Bhagavat from you, you always come and glorify Acharyas. But this class is super, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for talking about chastisement from spiritual master, and also association of devotees, how a fallen soul can be enlightened by the association of devotee. You talked about Dhruva Maharaj, Narada Muni, and also if we are not getting any association, I mean, you were talking about even Ajamila pastime, how even the most sinful person could also get the benediction. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very, very grateful to you, Prabhu. I don't have any question, but nectarian class. That's what I could say. Thank you. And dear devotees, anybody have any questions, realizations? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Glories to Prabhupada. Excellent session, Prabhu, I should say. Like so many points you brought from the various cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, from Chaitanya Charitamrita, from Prabhupada's life, that how chastisement is truly a blessing. Only thing is we should know how to take it, especially when it's come from the spiritual master. And definitely when it comes, it's truly a blessing because it is for our benefit. Thank you, Prabhu. And of course, like the example of Govardhan, where Krishna chastised Indra, but he dethroned him, but he didn't disown him. So that's how the spiritual master chastises us, but still it is for our benefit, for our learning. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for bringing up so many beautiful points, and your PPT, your pictures were so beautiful, especially the place of Devanandan Pandit. You know, when we see, we visualize and we think, yes, we have gone there and this is the place. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing those wonderful pictures also.
So it shows your deep absorption. Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhu, it shows how wonderfully you were, giving these wonderful sessions and this class and various points. So thank you, Prabhu. Thanks to you. Thanks for your association.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Really, class was so beautiful, Prabhu. I would like to go back and listen it again. I really like today's class so much. Thank you, Prabhu. And that point that you were telling about the Mataji who was wearing the jeans pant, and spiritual master knows whom to instruct, whom not to instruct. If the instruction is coming to us, he knows that I can do it. That's why he's giving me that instruction. That was really striking, Prabhuji. So we should not worry when the instruction comes from the spiritual master, because we should just believe that, okay, my Guru Maharaj is saying means I can do it. I have to do it. That's it. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay, so with your kind permission.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. It is very hard to explain whole class in 2 minutes. but I will try my best. प्रभु जी, today's class जैसे बताया जी खिचड़ा सुंदरी माता जी ने कि हम देख सकते थे लीला, क्वालिफाइड तो मायापुर धाम और वृंदावन धाम में एंटर होने की भी नहीं है. So DOT, you explain about the Prahlad Maharaj and the pastime of, and then Ajamil and demonical family में भी birth लेके प्रहलाद महाराज DOT बहुत बड़े DOT बने. Then from canto Shishi Bhagavatam 8 canto episode of episode of Bali Maharaj, and he also राक्षस फैमिली में जन्मे थे और आत्म निवेदन किया और बॉडी माइंड एंड सोल. सो यू एक्सप्लेन होल लीला, some of the great devotee of Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj from Canto 11, Uddhavji and mood of separation and practice devotional service, Devanand Pandit example. वो हमारे लिए है प्रभु जी के हाउ वी टेक चेस्ट. कभी कोई वैष्णव भी चेस्टाइज करते और सीनियर वैष्णव, देन वी हैव टू टेक पॉजिटिव. That lesson we learn. Srinivas Pandit, episode of Devanand Pandit, Lord Chaitanya chastised Devanand Pandit, pastime of Srila Prabhupada. We have learned lesson from then Jagannath Pandit is the incarnation of Satyabhama, and कैसे वो चैतन्य महाप्रभु के साथ जगदानंद पंडित की जो argument होती है. And then you explain about the how we have to behave with the other Vaishnava, and some Vaishnava will chastise, then we have to take it positively. Lotus feet of Sivanand Pandit के चेस्ट पे श्री लॉर्ड नित्यानंद ने उनका चरण रज दिया, तो उन्होंने बहुत वो खुश हो गए और बताया था कि आपके सब बेटे नहीं रहेंगे, पर वो ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं. देन संन्यास मीन्स एस्पेक्ट. Then then Mayavadi philosophy, you explain about the when the spiritual master said rascal, fool, stupid, तो वो हमें करेक्ट करते हैं ताकि हम भक्ति में दिन पर दिन आगे आगे जाए. देन बलभद्र भट्टाचार्य and Krishna dancing on the Sheshnag, and Lord Nityananda Dandabhanga आपने एक्सप्लेन किया कि 33 करोड़ डेमीगॉड जो है वो लॉर्ड नित्यानंद श्री श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु के इसलिए उन्होंने भंग किया कि श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु इज द इंकारनेशन ऑफ लॉर्ड कृष्णा एंड श्रीमती श्री राधा रानी. देन यू एक्सप्लेन अबाउट द बलि महाराज, लॉर्ड चैतन्य चेस्टाइज द प्राइड ऑफ श्रीमती श्री राधा रानी, and you explain about the Chaitanya Brahma Gaudiya Parampara and Dharmarth Kam Moksha. And जब गुरु महाराज का जो गोवर्धन इको विलेज था, आई हैव सीन बिफोर 19 years प्रभु जी. तो मैं महाराज ने बोला कि वी हैव टू क्लीन आवर हार्ट. काम क्रोध लोभ मोह जो हमारे अंदर है वो पहले दूसरे पे 4 अंगुली करने से पहले ही हमारे अंदर जो है वो अनर्था हम निकाले. सो that is also for all of us, especially for me, we correct ourselves when some devotees or non-devotees are chastise us. Then you are given example of Mother Devaki and Mother Yashoda, and then Rupa Goswami, the example, and then modified Acharya 6 Goswami आपने विजुलाइज कराया था सब लीला विथ उसकी जो लीला है वो आपने सब हम देख पाते थे. देन यू एक्सप्लेन अबाउट द कृष्णा स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर रोल, एंड अर्जुन तो नित्य सिद्ध थे, फिर भी लॉर्ड कृष्णा ने कैसे उनको धीरे धीरे करेक्ट किया. सो दैट इज नॉट फॉर अर्जुन बट दैट इज फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. Especially I'm talking about me, Prabhuji, and DOT talk. Then Rashikananda and Shyamananda Prabhuji's Leela, and it's going on, Prabhuji. So many things today we learn from your class. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, spiritual master, and spiritual master is correct that Vaishnava, and you explain about the Krishna, Brahma, Madhya, Gaudiya, and explain about the meditation, and you explain that somehow by chastised by senior Vaishnava we correct ourselves so that we get the mercy of six Goswami, Acharya Gan, Shri Krishna Balramji, and Srimati Shri Radharani, and somehow we at least enter in Shridham Vrindavan Dham in the and Shri Mayapur Dham when Maharaj is taking yatra. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you for reminding
Ki
all
jai.
this in a nutshell, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Thank you. Okay. Pancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha
Sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you, Prabhuji, once again. Very grateful to you.
Thank you so
All
much,
glories to
Prabhuji.
Srila Prabhupada. All glories
It's
to
a
you,
wonderful
Prabhuji. Hare
class. Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Koti Koti
Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Thank you, dear devotees.